The sweat dripped down my forehead as I bolted through the crowded streets of Manhattan, my heart pounding like a drum in a war zone. I had always been Alex Thompson, the unremarkable beta navigating the chaos of New York City life, blending into the background like just another face in the subway rush. But that one accidental brush of his hand against mine in the coffee shop shattered everything. I felt a fire ignite deep inside, a heat that consumed me, revealing a truth I'd buried for years. I was an Omega, and my world was about to collapse. It started innocently enough, or so I thought. I was grabbing my usual black coffee at Joe's Brew on Fifth Avenue, dodging the morning horde of suits and students. That's when he walked in. Ethan Hale, the alpha everyone whispered about. Tall, with piercing blue eyes and a jawline that could cut glass. He exuded that effortless dominance alphas carried like a second skin. Our hands grazed as we both reached for the sugar packets. And time froze. A jolt shot through me, electric and primal, stirring something dormant in my core. My skin flushed, my breath hitched, and suddenly, the world tilted. Scents sharpened as musk, rich and intoxicating, overwhelmed me. I stumbled back, knocking over a display of muffins, my body betraying me with waves of heat that made my knees weak. I fled the shop, weaving through pedestrians, my mind racing. Betas didn't go into heat. Betas were safe, neutral, free from the societal chains that bound alphas and omegas. In America, where secondary genders dictated everything from jobs to marriages, betas like me, so I believed, slipped through the cracks, unburdened by the instincts that drove others mad. But this was heat. The unmistakable surge omegas described in hushed tones. A vulnerability that could ruin lives. I ducked into an alley, leaning against the cold brick wall, panting as the fire built inside. Why now? Why him? By the time I got home to my cramped apartment in Brooklyn, the symptoms were undeniable. My roommate, Jake, a fellow beta, eyed me suspiciously as I collapsed on the couch. You look like hell, man. Bad coffee. I forced a laugh, but inside, panic clawed at me. I locked myself in the bathroom, stripping off my clothes as sweat soaked through. The mirror reflected a stranger flushed cheeks, dilated pupils, and an ache that begged for relief. I thought of Ethan, his touch lingering like a brand. Who was he? A quick search on my phone revealed he was the heir to Hale Enterprises, a powerhouse in tech, known for his ruthless business tactics and rumored string of Omega conquests. An alpha through and through. That night, the heat peaked. I writhed on my bed, sheets tangled, every nerve alight. Fantasies invaded my mind. Ethan's hands on me, his voice commanding, his scent enveloping. It was torture, exquisite and terrifying. In Omegaverse society, Omegas were prized yet pitted, often suppressed with meds or mated off early to avoid the chaos of uncontrolled heats. I'd taken suppressants since puberty, convinced by doctors I was a late bloomer beta. But one touch from a compatible alpha could shatter that facade, awakening latent traits. Was Ethan my fated mate? The idea thrilled and horrified me. The next morning, weak but determined, I dragged myself to work at the small graphic design firm in Midtown. Focus was impossible. Every alpha in the office set my senses on edge. My boss, and stern beta woman named Carla, pulled me aside. Alex, you're off today? Go home if you need to. I nodded. But as I left, fate intervened again. Ethan was waiting outside, leaning against a sleek black car, his expression unreadable. "We need to talk," he said, his voice low and resonant, sending shivers down my spine. He drove me to Central Park, the city blurring past. I felt it too, he admitted as we walked the paths lined with autumn leaves. "Your scent, it's like nothing I've encountered. You're not a beta, Alex." His words hung heavy, confirming my fears. I stopped, turning to face him, anger bubbling up. "You think I don't know that? One touch from you, and my life's over. Heats, mates, the whole damn system. I never wanted this." Ethan's eyes softened, a rare vulnerability cracking his alpha armor. "Neither did I. But denying it won't help. Let me protect you." Protection. In a world where Omegas faced discrimination, lower pay, forced registrations, even underground trafficking rings, it sounded like a cage. Yet, as we sat on a bench overlooking the lake, his presence soothed the lingering heat. We talked for hours about my childhood in suburban Chicago, where my parents, both betas, raised me to blend in, about his pressured life in the elite alpha circles of the Upper East Side. There was a connection, magnetic and undeniable, laced with romance that bloomed in stolen glances and tentative touches. But reality crashed in that evening. As Ethan dropped me off, a group of anti-Omega protesters blocked the street, chanting slurs and waving signs. "Purity for betas. No more freaks," one yelled. Ethan shielded me, his alpha instincts flaring, but a thrown bottle grazed my arm. We escaped, but the incident ignited fear. "This is what it's like," I whispered in his car. "Exposed. Targeted." Ethan gripped the wheel, jaw tight. "Not if we fight it together." Over the next weeks, our bond deepened amidst secrecy. Stolen meetings in hidden cafes, late-night calls where his voice wrapped around me like a warm blanket. The romance was intoxicating, his kisses ignited sparks. His embraces chased away the isolation I'd felt as a supposed beta. But the heats returned, fiercer each time, forcing me to confront my identity. I confided in Jake, who reacted with shock but support. "Man, that's huge. But you're still you." His words bolstered me, a glimmer of humanity in the storm. Yet, drama escalated when my parents visited from Chicago. Dinner at a cozy Italian spot turned tense when a mild heat wave hit mid-meal. I excused myself, but Mom followed, concern etched on her face. "Alex, what's going on?" Tearfully, I confessed. Their reaction, disbelief turning to denial. "You can't be. We tested you," Dad argued. It shattered Meter love conditional on my neutrality. Ethan arrived later, confronting them with quiet resolve. He needs acceptance, not erasure. The argument raged, highlighting the deep-seated biases even in families. As our relationship intensified, external threats loomed. Ethan's business rivals, sensing weakness, leaked rumors of his Omega distraction. Paparazzi hounded us, turning our private moments public. One night, in his penthouse overlooking the Hudson, passion overtook us. His touch was gentle yet commanding, guiding me through the heat with care that spoke volumes. "You're mine," he murmured. But it was mutual, our souls intertwined in a dance of equals, defying alpha-omega norms. But betrayal struck from within. Jake, under pressure from his own fears, accidentally revealed my status to a colleague, sparking workplace harassment. Omega freak. Graffiti appeared on my desk. Humiliated, I quit, spiraling into doubt. Is this worth it? I asked Ethan during a heated argument in the rain-soaked streets. Losing everything for a touch that doomed me. He pulled me close, rain mingling with tears. It's not doom, it's awakening. We can change things. Inspired, we joined an underground LGBT Omega rights group in Greenwich Village. Meetings in dimly lit basements, sharing stories of suppression and resilience. There, I found community others like me, hidden Omegas fighting for visibility. Ethan used his influence to fund advocacy, challenging laws that marginalized us. The drama built a rival alpha. Victor, Ethan's ex-business partner, plotted to expose us fully, aiming to ruin Hale Enterprises. The climax hit at a gala fundraiser for Omega Equality. Victor cornered me in a hallway, his alpha pheromones aggressive. Ethan's too soft for you. Submit to a real alpha. Panic surged, heat threatening to overwhelm. But Ethan intervened. A fierce confrontation ensuing. Fists flew. Security rushed in. And in the chaos, I stood my ground. I'm not property, I declared, voice steady despite the fear. The incident went viral, sparking national debate on secondary gender rights. In the aftermath, wounds healed literal and figurative. My parents reached out. Apologies laced with growth. We were wrong. We love you, Omega or not. Ethan and I emerged stronger. Our love a beacon. We made it officially, not out of obligation, but choice. In a quiet ceremony by the Brooklyn Bridge at dawn. Looking back, that touch unraveled my illusions, weaving a tapestry richer with truth. In America's evolving landscape, we fought for a world where identity wasn't an unraveling, but a revelation. Love, in all its forms, triumphed drama, romance, and humanity intertwined. The weeks following the gala were a whirlwind of media frenzy and personal reckoning. New York buzzed with our story headlines screaming, Alpha airs Omega scandal, love or liability. Ethan shielded me from the worst, his penthouse becoming our sanctuary. But isolation bred doubt. What if Victor's right? I whispered one night, curled against him on the balcony, city lights twinkling below. What if I'm weakening you? He tilted my chin, eyes fierce. You strengthen me, Alex. Every day? Our romance deepened in those stolen moments. Picnics in hidden corners of Prospect Park, where his laughter echoed like music, chasing away shadows. His touches were reverent now, each one a promise amid the heats that still came, though managed with meds and mutual care. But the gaykin mounted when Victor escalated. Anonymous threats, Aravid mails detailing my fraudulent beta life. Photos of us intimate. Expose or be exposed. One read. We traced it to Victor's firm, but proof was elusive. Ethan dove into counter-strategies, his alpha drive in full force. I'll end this, he vowed. I admired his resolve, but feared the cost. Meanwhile, I volunteered more with the rights group, leading workshops on Omega empowerment. Sharing my journey from denial to embrace inspired others, forging bonds that healed old wounds. One young Omega, Mia, confided her own hidden heats. You give me hope, she said, tears in her eyes. Family ties mended slowly. Video calls with my parents turned from awkward to heartfelt. We're learning, Mom admitted, sending articles on Omega history. Dad even attended a virtual seminar. Their evolution mirrored society's tentative shifts. Bills for equal rights gaining traction in Congress. But personal battles raged. A heat struck unexpectedly during a group meeting, forcing me to retreat. Ethan fetched me, his concern palpable. You don't have to hide, he soothed, driving through traffic. That night, passion reignited. In his arms, vulnerabilities melted into ecstasy, our bodies sinking in perfect harmony. I love you, he breathed, words that anchored me. Yet, dawn brought crisis. Victor's hackers breached Hale Enterprises, leaking sensitive data tied to our advocacy. Stocks plummeted. Board members demanded Ethan's resignation. It's me or the company, he faced, torn. I urged him to fight. We've come too far. Together, we uncovered Victor's embezzlement, turning the tables. A press conference exposed him. Ethan standing tall beside me. Love isn't a weakness, it's power, he declared, hand in mine. The crowd's mixed reactions, cheers, and boos reflected the divide. But support swelled online. Hashtags like Omega Rights trending. Recovery was bittersweet. Ethan's company stabilized, but scars lingered. We escaped to the Hamptons for respite. Beach walks mending frayed nerves. There, under golden sunsets, romance bloomed anew. Remember our first touch? I teased. He smiled. How could I forget? It changed everything. Conversations turned philosophical about identity, societal chains, the humanity in embracing one's truth. Back in the city, challenges persisted. A protest turned violent. Anti-Omega radicals clashing with supporters. We were caught in the fray. Ethan protecting me as chaos erupted. A baton strike felled him. I dragged him to safety, heart in throat. In the hospital, waiting by his bed, emotions crashed. Don't leave me, I pleaded as he woke. His grin, weak but genuine. Never. That scare galvanized us. We lobbied harder, testifying before committees on the human cost of discrimination. My story resonated. I thought I was beta. Safe. But truth doesn't hide. Denying it hurts everyone. Applause followed. A turning point. Victor's arrest for fraud sealed his fate. Justice served. As winter blanketed New York, our life normalized. Heats became manageable, part of our rhythm. Friends like Jake and Mia formed our chosen family. Gatherings filled with laughter and acceptance. Ethan's proposal came unexpected lying a snowy evening in Times Square. Amid twinkling lights. Marry me, Alex. Let's build a world where our love isn't unraveling, but unbreakable. Tears froze on my cheeks as I said yes. The wedding was intimate, in a historic chapel upstate, surrounded by allies. Vows exchanged promised equality. Love transcending labels. Honeymoon in California brought bliss ocean views. Endless talks about futures free from fear. Reflecting, my unraveling was a rebirth. In America's tapestry, we wove threads of change, proving that embracing one's essence fosters compassion. Love, defiant and true, illuminated the path. Years blurred into a tapestry of advocacy and intimacy. But the true test came when old ghosts resurfaced. Ethan and I had built a life of brownstone in Chelsea, co-founding an Omega support network that spanned coasts. Our marriage symbolized progress, featured in magazines as the Alpha Omega power couple. But beneath the gloss, tensions simmered. Suppressants failed sporadically, heats reminding me of vulnerabilities. I hate feeling weak, I confessed one evening, as Ethan massaged my shoulders. He paused. "You're the strongest person I know." His words warmed, but doubt lingered. Then, a bombshell, my biological tests revealed I'd been misdiagnosed deliberately. A childhood doctor, influenced by anti-Omega bias, fudged results to protect me. Rage boiled. They stole my identity. I stormed. Ethan held me through the night, our bond a lifeline. The revelation sparked a lawsuit, class action against corrupt medical practices. Media dubbed it the Omega Awakening case. Testimonies poured in hidden Omegas sharing horrors of forced beta lives. Drama peaked during trials, cross-examinations unearthing systemic rot. Victor, from prison, testified against us for leniency. Lies flowing. Hales manipulating him. He sneered. But evidence mounted, our side prevailing. Personal toll was high. Stress triggered intense heats. Ethan took leave to care for me. In those moments, romance reignited gentle caresses, whispered affirmations. "We're in this together," he said, eyes alight with love. Yet, threats escalated, anonymous calls, vandalism on our home. Freaks out. Spray painted across our door. Police dismissed it as pranks, fueling frustration. We hired security, but paranoia crept in. One night, intruders broke in. Chaos ensued, furniture overturned, shouts echoing. Ethan fought them off, alpha strength shining, but a knife grazed his side. I grabbed a lamp, swinging wildly, adrenaline surging. Police arrived, arresting the assailants hired by remnants of Victor's network. In the ER, stitches in, Ethan joked, "Our life's a thriller." I laughed through tears, gratitude swelling. The incident humanized our cause. Interviews highlighted the violence against LGBT Omegas, garnering sympathy. Celebrities endorsed. Funds poured in. We expanded the network, opening shelters nationwide. Mia, now a leader, thrived. "You saved me," she said at a gala. But introspection followed. What if we have kids? I pondered. In Omegaverse, genetics were roulette alpha, beta, Omega offspring possible. Ethan smiled. They'll be loved. Whatever. We adopted, welcoming a beta boy, Liam, whose energy filled our home. Parenting added layers, teaching acceptance, navigating biases. Climax built with a Supreme Court hearing on gender equality laws. We testified. My voice steady. I unraveled to rebuild. Deny us rights. You deny humanity. Ethan's support was unwavering. Ruling favored us, landmark victory. Protections enshrined. Post-victory, peace settled. Heats became celebrations of our bond, not burdens. Travels took us cross-country, advocating in small towns, bridging divides. Romances like ours inspired stories, books, films. One anniversary, atop the Empire State Building, Ethan renewed vows. From that touch to forever. Emotion choked me. You unraveled me. And I'm grateful. In retrospect, my journey taught resilience. America's progress, though imperfect, showed change possible through love and fight. Our story, drama-laden yet real, underscored, embrace truth, foster empathy, and humanity prevails. The end wasn't unraveling, but wholeness.